you had cancer.
Yeah. So in December of '09, I had felt a lump on a Friday on my left breast. I was on UCLA's doorstep by Monday, telling them to, to scan it and see what it was. That it was actually the earliest stage of breast cancer. It was actually a stage 0.
Wow.
But the problem was that I didn't want surgery. I knew that it was possible. I knew there were other alternatives. My grandmother had had cervical cancer, and she got rid of it with the Hoxsey treatment, just herbs and juicing, and tried my own things naturally for about 9 months, and it wasn't working at all. So, and it tripled. It went from 2.5 centimeters to 8.5 centimeters in 9 months.
How did you have the strength to see it growing and keep trying?
Well, I was a nervous wreck. I was an absolute wreck. My family kept telling me, some people in my family kept telling me, just get the surgery, get it out, this is your life, you can't play around with it. But I knew that it wasn't right. For whatever reason, it was not what I was going to do. I was trying a little bit of everything, eating raw, for 2 months and not seeing a difference, putting a potato on it, garlic on it, everything I could, juicing.
Your primary doctor suggests you which treatment?
The usual conventional, the surgery and chemo and radiation. And then I kept going to different oncologists trying to find someone who would work with me naturally, and none of them would. And so when it grew large enough, then they said the chemo first now, because we have to shrink it in order to even do the surgery because it was so large. So,
would you be willing to go back to these doctors and mention your survival story?
Oh yeah, I plan to. Yeah, that's part of my checklist of things to do.
Wonderful.
I found Valley Cancer because I actually wanted to try something that my mother, she had precancerous cervical cells, and they froze them. They've been freezing cancer cells for a long time, but there was only one doctor in Detroit who I could find who would do cryosurgery. They stick probes in it and they create these ice balls, and it does the opposite of hyperthermia. It freezes them to death. And it's just a one-time procedure. That was ideal for me. To be honest, that was my first choice. But he said that the size was too big, and he had never done the cryoablation on something that large before. So to try and shrink it first and then go back to him, which was my plan. So when I was looking at cryo, I think I ran across the word hyperthermia. I found a couple other places, but only BCI would do the low-dose radiation with the hyperthermia. Long Beach has hyperthermia, Long Beach Memorial Hospital, but they will only do regular dose with the hyperthermia, and they wouldn't take me because I hadn't had surgery already. They'll only take the worst of the worst. You can only have the hyperthermia, which is less invasive, if you've already done all these things to your body, which is insane to me.
Because it's already very late for the immune system to recover, right?
Yeah, because they said, the doctor said to me, I only have studies to show that surgery and chemo and radiation work. I don't have studies to show that hyperthermia works. And I told him, well, surgery's not an option to me, so you're just going to let me die? And because I'm not going to have surgeries, and you're not going to let me have the hyperthermia? And he just kind of said, well, I'll see what I can do. And that was kind of the end of it.
So hyperthermia made sense to you because of the big difference between the side effects of conventional treatment and hyperthermia.
Because I did believe to a degree that, operating on it could spread it. There was something that just wouldn't let me have this. Of course I was, afraid to a degree. I didn't want anything cut, any part of me cut. I'd never had any type of surgery. I didn't want to do more damage to my body. It was already in trouble. I just didn't want to do more damage to it. And it was going to have a tough time healing. I didn't want the poison of chemo in my body. It's bad enough. I'm not crazy about radiation either, so don't, get me wrong, it's not ideal, but it's the best that I could find besides the cryoablation.